hit the quarter pole of the 2006-2007 PBA season. It's the veterans who dominated so far. With the exception of Tony Reyes and his 300 game, the young guns can't seem to pull the trigger. Today we step back in time once more to embrace the four-match stepladder format. Will the veterans continue to reign supreme, or will the young guns finally be able to find their mark? Our question, who will climb the ladder in Chicago? The answer comes your way next. It's the Discover Card Windy City Classic on ESPN. From Hawthorne Lanes in Vernon Hills, Illinois, minutes from Chicago, ESPN brings you live coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour. 5 bowlers go for the top prize money and a one-season exemption. It's a step-ladder format. All bowlers are chasing the top seed, Chris Barnes. He'll try to break a long losing streak of futility for the number 1 seed in this format. Barnes joined by PBA legend Parker Bohn III, Jack Jurek, Wes Smollett, and lefty Mike Scroggins, who looks for his 4th career title today. Hello, Bohn fans. Welcome to Chicagoland. Glad you could join us today. Dave Ryan alongside Randy Peterson, a 24-time titleist on the Denny's PBA Tour. Norm Duca won last week. Congratulations on your victory in Hammond. Now, this week here in Chicagoland, you were pretty close. Led the field most of the way until the very end. What happened?
Well, I was looking good. I was riding a roll, but then I faltered at the end, and now it's an hour and a half in the penalty box with you guys, Dave.
We've been in the penalty box for 5 years, Norm. It's really not that bad.
Good to have you back on TV, hopefully back on the lanes next week. Randy, let's talk about the field of 5 here, led by the top seed, Chris Barnes. Now, this is a lot like what we had in Taylor, Michigan, near Detroit a couple of weeks ago when Tony Reyes won the tournament and had a 300 game.
Boy, I'll say, big scores this week. We had 12 300 games, and all 5 of our finalists averaged over 240 to make it to television. But you're right, Dave. 3 out of the 5 that are back on television here today made it in Detroit. That would be Wes Smollett, Parker Bohn III, and Mike Scroggins. Jack Jurek, well, he knocked out Tony Reyes in position round match Friday night to make the telecast. Our tournament leader, Chris Barnes. Chris is looking to do what no one has done since 2005, and that's win the tournament from the number 1 spot in a stepladder format. The last man to do it, Chris Barnes, at the 05 U.S. Open, his first major. And Norm, why is it so difficult to win from the number 1 spot?
Well, there are 3 reasons. First, your opponent is coming off a victory, so his confidence is high. He was also the last of those shots in the lanes, so there's far less guesswork for the semifinal victory. And lastly, the tournament leader has to overcome the first 2 frame TV jitters. Look for that 3rd frame, though. Chris Barnes to get hot and take a run.
All right, gentlemen, here's the oil pattern for today. It's Scorpion, 41 feet, and we have seen a lot of high scoring. 12 300 games, including 2 of the finalists here today, Chris Barnes and Mike Scroggins. Perhaps, Randy, will see another 300 game like you did with our buddy Tony Reyes, had number 17 a few weeks back in Taylor, Michigan.
Well, the hardest thing for the players to decide on this week was what ball to throw, because they could get there with just about any ball they used. That crackling in my headset.
The pride of Western New York, from Lackawanna near Buffalo, Jack Jurek. What a season he's had. Dream year for the long-time journeyman. Nice start. Oh, 10 in the pit for Jack Jurek, who bids for his 2nd career title. Big theme for Jack today, trying to get back on the map with a win. It's been a long time. This guy's won a lot. Parker Bohn III, PBA Hall of Famer. 30 career titles. His wife Leslie, as usual, by his side. With a good start as well. So it leads us to our first ace matchup. And Randy, you have 2 players who are having great seasons, each with their 2nd show of the year. But the difference between the titles, the career accolades, entirely different between these 2 guys.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that Parker Bohn averaged 251 in qualifying for this event. He's 3rd on the all-time money list. But Jack Jurek has been very, very hot. His confidence is at the highest level he's ever experienced on tour.
Parker keeps us perfect. He is third all-time, as Randy said, on the money list, behind the great Walter A. Williams Jr. and Pete Weber. Parker has pulled home more than $2.5 million in career earnings. That's how Jack Jurek got here.
Yeah, you talk about the confidence of Jack Jurek. That $50,000 payday in the Masters 3 weeks ago, that will loosen your swing up. That's why he's riding the biggest confidence of his life. Until now.
What happened there, Norm?
Well, something probably distracted him. Otherwise, sometimes you just don't feel as good. Take a step back. He knows he's on the clock.
There is a 25-second shot clock, and the first was a violation.
Worth every nickel. Absolutely worth every nickel. If he throws the shot and Big Four is right in front of Parker Bohn, it's over. This first violation, $500.
21-year career. Jack told us yesterday, guys, when we talked with him. Important for him to get back on the victory map. He really feels his career shouldn't be known just as a one-hit wonder. That one victory, which took place so long ago. 1995 in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. All 10 down for Jack. That was a winner over your former roommate, Dave Traber. 231, 228. Imagine that. March 25th, 1995, the last time he tasted victory.
Well, I think Jack said something very interesting last night to us. He said, I probably will never be a superstar out here, but I just want to feel like I belong.
Well, he belongs.
Now it's Parker. Long-time PBA star, 22nd year on tour for the 43-year-old from New Jersey. He was fifth all-time as we see his road to TV in victories. Walter A. Williams Jr., of course, this year, Japan Cup set the record with 42. Earl Anthony with 41. Mark Roth, 34. Pete Weber won his 33rd this year, and Parker has 30 titles. The last, though, came in the 04-05 season, beginning the second swing that year on their tour in El Paso, Texas. All 10 down, perfect start. Each looking good. We told you the Scorpion pattern, Randy, would yield some great numbers.
Yeah, Norm, why is it that the lanes played so well, and why were the scores so high this week?
Well, it's uncharacteristic of the Scorpion pattern to play with such high scoring, but I think that the kickbacks, which is the sideboards next to the 7 and 10 pin, they were very, very lively, more so than anything I believe I've ever remembered. So ringing 10s and ringing 7s for the lefties just never happened. And as soon as I say it never happened, it happened.
Wow. Norm the Jinx.
What did you call this?
Ringing 10 of the week.
Penalty box?
The penalty
That's what
box.
happens from the penalty box.
I bowled Jack Jurek with 2 games to go for this telecast, and I tell you, there were no ringing 10s for him that game. He threw the shots when he needed it like he had 30 titles.
Great look from behind the pin deck from our crew. That was a little close, even from that angle. He nearly missed that 10 pin, but he does stay clean. Jack, this year, Randy's been phenomenal. Number 4 on the point list. He's up there in money as well. He's really turned things around.
Yeah, that's the greatest start of a year for him and his career. And getting back to why the scores were so high this week, I think the other thing, in talking with the players, they all said the same thing. They had room left and right. Here it comes.
No, it will not go down.
They did. They had room left and right. I say they did. We did. But we had consistency through the front end. Ball always seemed to get to the long target. We had consistency right of target. Ball always seemed to recover. But I think the main thing is when we hit the pocket, we struck, all of us. Not so for Jack, the last 2 shots.
Those single pin numbers and back-to-back 10-pin spares for Jack Jurek from Buffalo, New York, as he bids for a second career title.
It's like one time you feel like you're lost.
He was the top seed at the USBC Masters in Milwaukee. Lost to Doug Kent, who just bowled a tremendous tournament. What an exciting final that was. An arena setting. Parker, stepladder format, back on TV again for the second time this year. He was in Taylor, as we talked about. As a front five.
You know, for a guy that's got 30 titles, you get used to winning. Parker hasn't won since the 04-05 season. I guarantee you he wants to win again. He just got used to it, Randy. I think he misses it.
Oh, I guarantee you he misses it.
It's Motel 6 frame, guys. Parker's on the front five with a strike in the six. He'll earn $600 for Motel 6, the official lodging partner of the PBA. He'll also be eligible for a $6,000 bonus if he throws the front six more than any bowler on TV this year. 6 in a row, $600.
And Parker Bohn does what all great Hall of Famers do when their opponents give them an opening. He jumps all over it. Right now, he's all over Jack Jurek like a bulldog on a pork chop.
Well, it's the young guns against the old guard, right? Well, Parker Bohn III looking good here. This old-timer has a front six. The Discover Card Windy City Classic is brought to you by Discover Card. It's time a credit card put you in the driver's seat. By Denny's. Denny's always works. By Ace, the official hardware store of the PBA. Ace, the helpful place. And by City Classic, Suburban Chicago. 32-pin lead for PBA Hall of Famer Parker Bohn III as the front six. Trying to become the 18th all-time Dennis PBA Tour. Having a live 300 game on TV. He's all smiles right now, Randy. Let's check in with the Atomic Edge.
You got it, Dave. The classic style of Parker Bohn III, and there's his signature trademark, knee bend. And oddly enough, that's what he's been working on and practicing on for the last couple of weeks. And Norm, why is it so important to have deep knee bend foul line?
Well, you need to have leverage. You need to project your ball cleanly, consistently, every shot. The lower you can get, the easier that ball is to get to the break point.
There's Jack Jurek in a heap of trouble against the red-hot Parker Bohn III.
Lay off.
No, it didn't, Jack. Right through the nose.
Just one time where you throw it good out of the break. Jesus.
3-6, and Randy's upset about not performing well out of the commercial break.
Well, Norm and I were talking during the break, and he thought that would help Jack. And oddly enough, we have a player that's struggling to get to the pocket, and I didn't think that was going to be possible today.
Well, scorpion pattern where the scores have been high.
Jack has been hitting the pocket. The first time he missed, of course, is this commercial break, and he's aware it's a tougher shot to throw. You've got 4 minutes sitting there by yourself. You kind of get loose. It's just hard to get right back up in the swing of things.
You're just going to throw out.
Wow. Sixth longest streak. Outside. All 10 down the pit for Jack Jurek. He's told us he has watched that TV show from back in March of '95, his last victory, to try to get that winning feeling back, but he knows he may really have given Parker even a further opening. It may be academic if Parker runs the table here. He's halfway home. 300 game. He's had a lot of success here at Hawthorne Lane. It's our 5th straight year at this great bowling center. Run by Bill Spigner and his family. 7 straight. Now Parker does have a 300 game Randy on TV, the 12th all time. That was back in May of '98.
I mean, he's making it look so easy, even a caveman could do it.
Those commercials are hilarious. Have you seen the one in the airport where he stops and sees the sign? Classic. Parker's also had a couple 300 games rolled at him by our Tony Reyes a couple weeks ago. In November, Taylor, Michigan. Also against C.K. Moore back in '96. 7-pin stands, and any chance ends for the 300, but he's got a big lead on Jack Jurek.
Yeah, it's another beautiful shot here, and the head pin gets hit so hard, you kind of gets confused as to what to do after that and doesn't come across and get the 7-pin.
Thanks for that. Parker had a nice Thanksgiving. His sons Parker and Evan came from Nashville, Tennessee. Actually flew during the week to get his sons, bring them back here for Thanksgiving with his wife, Leslie, and Justin, Brandon, Sydney, but had to bring them back. Or they had to go back, I guess, before the show today, so they're not here in person, but watching back home in Tennessee on TV.
Right, and Parker said that he rode for the first time with his son from the airport out here to Vernon Hills. As Jurek gets the double. Said it was the first time he ever rode with his son, and that pressure pack 6 frame for $600 was nothing.
Oh, he was driving him in, yeah.
Yeah, he was riding alongside.
Oh, brother, yeah, that gets interesting.
Nothing like letting your 17-year-old drive the car from O'Hare
Yeah, he says
through Chicago.
He says he's fearless
fun
now.
with that. Good luck. Right now, Dad's got a 33-pin lead. Jurek has had just a wonderful season. Told you about the top seed, one of 7 straight top seeds who have lost in the final. That was in the Masters to Doug Kent. Made this show, nearly made it last week, and Hammond, when you won, was in the round of 8. Lost to Steve Rogers.
Yeah, this is a big shot, too. Keeps him in the match. Bye-bye.
Keep knocking on the door, Jack. One of these times.
Yeah,
that's been his story, right, Randy?
Yeah, this match is history. But, Jack really only made one bad shot. He left a week 10. 2 ring intents like this. And, we saw it all week long. It's usually the first guy that misses more than twice is pretty much done.
Yeah, you get an open in this tournament. They just wheel you off in a gurney.
So Jack Jurek will continue to, as he said a moment ago, knock on the door. 3rd in points, 4th in money, 2 shows on the year. Does have the $50,000 from finishing second at the Masters in Milwaukee, but he wants more, Norm, doesn't he?
Yes, but what he's got that's most important is he's rolling with confidence. It's so hard to win out.